Neurona's Painkill is seriously one of the most disturbing characters you'll find in the Overlord anime. This creature works as a special intelligence collector in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, which is just a fancy way of saying she's a professional torturer. She's androgynous, but identifies as female, and her species is called a brain eater. She runs the Room of Truth in the frozen prison on the 5th floor of Nazar, and her karma level is 425, which the series labels as very evil. When members of the Sunlight Scripture got captured, they were sent straight to her. She even helped break down the leadership of the criminal organization 8 Fingers by torturing them until they gave up everything they knew. The really messed up part is how Neuronis talks to her victims. She speaks in this weirdly cheerful, almost flirty way while doing horrible things to people. She tells one victim that even though his body parts shrank from fear, there's no need to be scared. During torture sessions, she casually mentions healing magic will be used over and over, so victims can get plenty of opportunity to practice enduring pain. One of the darkest details is that her creator, the player who made her character, suffered from kidney stones in real life. So, Neuroness has a special torture tool based on that concept, and she actually uses it on people. She tells victims they're going to spend a long, long time together, and what they're experiencing is only the beginning. Akuma from D. Grayman are made from pure grief and manipulation. These things aren't just monsters. They're literally the souls of dead people who got tricked into becoming weapons. The Earl of Millennium, the main villain, creates them by finding people who are mourning the loss of someone they loved and offering them a deal to bring that person back. Sounds great, right? Except it's the cruelest trap imaginable. Here's how it works. When someone agrees to the Earl's deal, he gives them a skeleton made of dark matter, which is this evil supernatural material. The grieving person calls out the name of their dead loved one, and the soul gets yanked back from the afterlife and trapped inside the skeleton. The moment that soul is trapped, it's forced to obey the Earl's commands, even if it doesn't want to. The worst part comes next. The soul is then forced to kill the person who called them back and literally wear their corpse as a disguise. So, the person who just wanted their loved one back gets murdered by that exact person, and the soul has to live with that horror forever. The Earl himself says an Akuma is made from a person's heart, and that it symbolizes a person's suffering. Once the transformation is complete, the Akuma soul becomes consumed by hatred for the living world. They're tormented, trapped, and forced to go around killing humans to grow stronger and evolve. The souls inside know exactly what happened to them and what they're being forced to do, but they can't stop it. Level 1 Akuma still have the bodies and faces of their original forms underneath, but their faces are distorted, and there's a chain around their necks, showing the intense pain and sadness they're in. As they kill more people, they start to lose their humanity bit by bit, becoming more obsessed with killing and acting more zombie-like. Level 1. Akuma look like floating ball-shaped creatures with dozens of gun barrels sticking out that fire large bullets. They can bend these barrels in any direction without affecting how they shoot. And they can also fire energy beams called Akuma Cannon from an opening below their face. Some can partially transform looking mostly human, but with cannons for eyes and dark purplish skin. As they rack up kills, they evolve into level 2, then level 3, and eventually level 4. Each evolution makes them stronger, but also more monstrous. Level 2, Akuma start developing their own unique abilities powered by dark matter. Level 3 are even more powerful and can actually fuse together to create giant Akuma, which are slow but have incredibly durable skin and long arms and legs for attacking. These giant Akuma can perform an attack called Evil Starg's Rapid Beams in all directions. One character named Bookman calls them idiot machines that just combine to make a bigger idiot machine because they don't seem to think for themselves much. Level 4. Akuma are the most terrifying evolution. The transformation itself is described as way more visceral and gruesome than any other level. The first level 4 seemed to come from a giant Akuma's eye after merging with other destroyed Akuma bodies. The level 3 melts into this horrifying blob of limbs and flesh, then sprouts a shell of a woman with a grotesquely bloated stomach that has the number 4 on it. The actual Akuma bursts out of this shell, looking like a childlike creature with a bloated stomach, a black star on its belly, a halo-like oval above its head, and wings on its back. Basically a demonic angel. The state of the human soul inside is so grotesque that Alan Walker, the main character who can see souls, literally had to throw up just from looking at it. A single level 4 is absurdly powerful. One of them destroyed a large chunk of a laboratory, knocked out 4 generals, overpowered Alan Walker, who had got way stronger by that point, survived a combined attack from Alan, and another powerful character named Cross Marion, and still had enough energy left to try escaping. They're stronger than even the most powerful exorcists. The Earl also hints that level 4 is just a stepping stone to something even worse, which is a terrifying thought. Awakened beings from Claymore are former Claymore's warriors who were created to hunt monsters called Yoma, who pushed their powers past the 80% limit and completely lost their humanity. But the organization, the people who create Claymores in the first place, straight up lies to regular humans about what awakened beings actually are. They tell people these monsters are just voracious eaters, which are supposedly Yoma that lived too long and got stronger. The truth is way darker. These are the heroes who were supposed to protect humanity, transformed into the very things they swore to destroy. They keep their intelligence and memories, but their personalities completely flip. They become merciless, sadistic, and arrogant monsters who see humans purely as food, while Claymores barely eat anything. Awakened beings are constantly starving and crave human guts specifically. They have to regularly eat human viscera just to survive. One awakened being named Priscilla stopped eating humans for a few years, and her body literally shrank down to the size of a small child because she wasn't getting the food she needed. Each awakened being has its own unique form, and they can vary wildly in size and appearance. Some are only slightly bigger than a regular human, while others are absolutely massive. Some have the ability to change their size at will. The average awakened being is way stronger than both Claymores and Yoma. While a single Claymore can hunt down a Yoma, it usually takes 4 Claymores working together to take down an awakened being. And that team needs to include at least one high-ranking warrior. The most powerful characters in the entire series are awakened beings, with the strongest ones called abyssal ones. The organization deliberately creates awakened beings at special factories. They hybridize males and make them awaken immediately, using them as weapons or experiments. When a character named Maria attacks the organization, they send a whole group of these factory-made awakened beings to a town called Rabona as revenge. Despite losing most of their humanity, some awakened beings do retain certain human emotions, which makes them even more complex and disturbing. There's this couple, Rifu and Daph, where Daph is completely obsessed with protecting Rifu, and she genuinely cares about him too, even though she sometimes manipulates him for fun. Some of the specific awakened beings are nightmare fuel. There's one that looks like a giant armored armadillo that can shoot spines like a porcupine and has powerful mind control abilities that force Claymores to attack each other. Another one is a giant flying insect with multiple bladed arms that can anticipate attacks even though it has no visible eyes. Then there's Katea, who transforms into something resembling a mosquito with a white glowing body and extendable blades sharp enough to cut through armored skin. There's even one that's described as a large ball covered in worms and multiple mouths. Just picture that coming at you. The bunny elder baron from Blood Sea can transform its arms into propelled razors and bludgeons, turn its fingers into sharp points, and morph its shoulders into literal sacks that it uses to trap struggling victims inside. Once people are caught in those sacks, the bunny turns them into what can only be described as bloody, gory smoothies. It's not a quick death either. These people are torn apart while they're still alive and aware of what's happening. The bunny elder baron is described as the most cruel and manipulative of all the elder barons that the resistance forces encounter. And you can see why. It has this sadistic obsession with torturing people before killing them. It loves to skewer humans like shish kebabs and then eat them in massive quantities. It can kill without any warning whatsoever, which means you might not even see it coming before it's too late. Bunny can also clone itself. When Sia, the main character, first confronts it and slices it in half vertically, you'd think that would be the end of it. Instead, the creature regenerates and multiplies itself. The two bunnies then divide into 6 total copies, and all 6 of them go on an absolute rampage through the town. The destruction these things cause is insane. They're responsible for devouring and killing